Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. So guys, we've just been told in content creator chat there will be a 2 times void summoning this Friday. I'm recording this like 7th of October, so if you're watching this in the future, perhaps it's not a 2 times this Friday, but it is if you're watching it as it goes out. What I want to do, because there's been so many different changes to champions in terms of nerfs, buffs, new champions coming in, that type of stuff, I'm going to do a top 25 void champions that everybody should want to pull in this game. Working our way right through rares, epics, and legendaries, and I'll give you my insight in terms of where would I play them, where do I play them, and all that type of stuff. So let's get into it then. Coming in at number 25. Number 25 is going to be Cardinal. Cardinal's a bit of a niche champion. She is insanely good in faction wars, really cool in arena offense. And the reason for that is all about her A3 ability. Revive all dead allies, heals them by 25% of their max HP, and boosts their turn meter to max. Important word there being max. It means that whoever you revive gets to go straight away. They get to go in the order of their speeds. So if you've got 3 champions that are down, she picks all 3 back up. They will all have a go before the enemy team have a go. 100%. And she will boost their turn meter to max, and they'll just go in order of their speeds. So you can literally sit 3 people down, she picks them all up, they go in turn order, and then they wipe out the enemy. It's also very good in faction wars to get your 3 stars consistently. So she does have a poison as well on her A1. She can be a bit of a clan boss champ. Good base stats. Really cool, epic champion. That's going in at their number 24 is going to be another epic champion. This champion, I'm actually due to do a guide on probably in the next few days. Scilar. So Scilar, very fast, good base attack, very good base HP. She just brings a ton of utility. Decreased speed on her A3 on all enemies, the big version. That's a massive debuff to get you through things like Spider, Fire Knights, wave control, all that type of stuff. At the same time, she's reducing their turn meter by 40%, which is a massive number. Basically means that all of your other damage dealers should definitely be able to go once she's gone. She can be your second person to go in the arena. She slows them all down, and she drops their turn meter, which just enables the rest of your team to come through and slam people up. Very good champ. She's also got decreased accuracy. It's an AoE. It's not a good debuff, but it's an AoE. And another AoE here. She could be a campaign farmer. She's insane in a stun set, insane in a daze set, all that type of stuff. Very, very cool champ. Number 23 then. Number 23 is going to be Padma. So Padma, brilliant in Clan Boss. She's got an A1 that if you book it out is 100% going to drop decrease attack on the enemy. 100%. There's not many champions that can do 100% hit on an A1. She just needs to land a crit for that to happen. So she's actually more consistent at dropping decrease attack than Sepulchre, than an Altan, all of those big boys. However, she's probably doesn't bring as much other cool utility, but she's still an incredibly good void epic. She's actually pretty solid in the arena as well. She's got an ability on her A3, removes all buffs from the target, places them on this champion, and the hit hits hard. So you go in on a seafeed, steal all her buffs, and then slam her down to no health. She's defense-based. She's got a good base defense as well, good base speed. And then she's got a second, she's got an AoE here as well, which has got a chance to put decreased accuracy on, but it hits hard. So all in all, very good, epic void champion. You should not be upset if you pull yourself a Padma. Let's keep it going then. So next one up is going to be a rare. And this is a rare who has been towards the top of my rare tier list for a long time. Reliquary Tender. She's just an out-and-out like support. You know, she's not going to set your world alight in terms of doing damage and all that sort of stuff, but she's got a baby version decreased attack on her A1. It's nice for an A1. She's all about this. Remove all debuffs from all allies, then places heals. So when you're running through things like Dragon or Fire Knights or wherever, she's just going to keep all of those debuffs off you and keep you healed. And then if someone dies on a 5-turn cooldown, she will pick them back up. Very, very unusual for a rare that's as good as this to have a revive move. Brilliant for faction wars. She's good in clan boss. Her cleanse ability here is on a 3-turn cooldown if you book it. So she can cleanse a stun consistently. She'll cleanse off like the dragon stuns and stuff like that. And she'll pick people up when they die. So very, very good, rare champion. And one that a lot of people just overlook. Very good. Okay, then moving on to 21. 21, basically I've given Painkeeper 21. Painkeeper becomes part of an unkillable team. It's what she's mainly known for, being able to build unkillable teams when you pair her up with a man-eater. She's also good in faction wars. She's good at kind of wave support. She's got a heal on her A2, which heals for 15% of her HP. She's got this cooldown ability, which cools down the skills of your team, a bit like what Kaimar does, and Renegade does. Yeah, good champion, but mainly known for the unkillable setups, and one that probably more than half the people that watch these videos probably should be looking for, because if you get an unkillable team going with a man-eater and a Painkeeper together, it's the equivalent of having 5 legendary champions going after the clan boss. That's how strong unkillables are. So Painkeeper coming in at 21. Coming in then at number 20 is someone who recently had a buff. And she has definitely shot up in my estimations. So, Blind Seer. Again, I will do a guide on her before too long. She has got one of the fastest base speeds in the game. She's got high HP, good attack, and good defense. She's based off of attack for her moves, but she's only got 1 damage dealing move. But she has got now a block debuffs and reasonably good shield equal to 30% of her HP on her A2. 3-turn cooldown. So again, this is like a clan boss ability move. This is spider support. This is faction wars. This is potentially arena support. So very good there. A1 hits 3 times at random. Each hit's got a chance to drop turn meter. Again, Fire Knights is good for. It's at random, so only the first hit's definitely going to land on something like the main spider, but still not bad for spider. But generally, good utility here. And then this is one of the big things that they changed. So now a 5-turn cooldown on a revive all dead allies, and then she puts block damage on all of them. Really, on all allies, not just the one she's revived, on all allies except herself. So she becomes the kind of target for damage when she does this. But really, really cool champion now. Brilliant base stats. Yeah, she's massively climbed in terms of her viability in the game. So, Blind Seer done. Let's move on to 19, and that is going to be another rare. If you get this guy early game, you are laughing. Bellawa. Bellawa, 3 AoE hits, a bit like Scilar. Bringing every single ability that he does brings a good debuff. Block cooldown skills, insane. This ability is actually insane, and it's overlooked a bit in his kit. Block cooldown skills means that anyone that's got this ability block on is only going to come at you with A1s. So in stuff like Dragon running, Fire Knight running, Faction War running, basically you're locking out all of their main abilities. So they're not going to do stuff like massive counterattacks and all that type of stuff. Really, really cool ability here. Decreased speed A2. Can buff it up to a 75% chance to land. Very good for Spider. And then a AoE again, 100% chance to land if you've got the accuracy. Decrease attack, decrease defense. It's baby version ones, guys. But I'll tell you what, it's still better than not having it on there at all. He's brilliant in Faction Wars for Ogren Tribes. I still run him in my Faction War team. If you put him in a stun set, he's massively beneficial in Spider and Dragon. But you can also power him up to be your campaign farmer and do a bunch of damage as well. So Bellawa, all in all, really, really cool champ. That was my number 19. Let's go on to 18 then. Back onto an epic. An epic demon spawn who's going to be Umbral. I massively value Umbral. Really good champion. Such a good champion to go second for you in the arena. Speed lead first, speed up. Umbral goes next. And you've got a choice. You can either throw out an AoE block buffs. So, if you're up against a team with, I don't know, Duchess and, all those champions that throw out a ton of buffs, counterattack champions, all that type of stuff, she will block their buffs on this move. so that it's as if they didn't do anything. And because the AI is dumb, it will still just try and place those buffs anyway. And she's also got this AoE provoke. Best if you book her to get 100% chance of a provoke. But if you provoke enemies for 2 turns and she becomes unkillable at the same time, basically, it's a game changer. You've got 2 full turns to let all of your damage dealers nuke the enemy. I still use her in my faction war team for Demon Spawn. She's brilliant in the arena. She's brilliant at kind of wave control. You can run a slow bob Umbral in Spider and just provoke all of the Spiderlings at Umbral whilst the rest of your team are doing damage. Really, really cool champion. I'll tell you what, she absolutely nukes as well if you get her built in the right way. She's got an A1 which also does more damage the more health she loses. When she becomes unkillable, she basically goes down to 1 HP. So she is slamming with that A1. Really, really good Void Epic. So let's move on. We're moving on to number 17. These two probably could have been reversed. I'm not really sure. But 17 then is a champion that I've only just built out. And he is the reason that I cleared Faction Wars on Skinwalkers. Up until the point that I built him out, I was struggling with Skinwalkers. I had a pretty bad team. Built him out, and he has got... Basically, he's like a mini warlord. So on his A2, he attacks all enemies, so takes down every enemy, increases the cooldown of their skills by 2 turns. So you're saying, what does that mean? Basically, what it means is it locks out the A2, A3, A4s because it's increased the turn by which you're allowed to use it by 2, which means they're only using A1s at you again. Similar to the Umbral kind of thinking, and basically it's just locked out their abilities. So it's a massive, massive move on his A2. He's also got a 4-hit random block buffs. Very good for Faction Wars, very good for the arena. And then he's got a weaken on his A1. So I think he's kind of like arena Faction War boss. He's going to be brilliant for Doom Tower as well because you're going to need these type of moves. Bashar is a fantastic champion, sometimes overlooked. He's just awesome. If his base speed was another 5 higher, then he would be like massively further up the tier list. But you do need to get him to go second to get most value out of him. Speed lead into Bashar. So let's look at number 16. 16 recently got a buff, and he was already strong before that. Gerdo the younger, so legendary champion. Probably one of my favorite skins in the game. Like visually, I think he's absolutely awesome. I love it. He's also very cool, like actually in the game when you're swinging and critting and stuff like that with him. Really cool visual. He's got this A2, which randomly now removes 2 buffs. Used to be 1. Randomly removes 2 buffs from all enemies. That will be 100%. That is 100%. He then freezes 100% if you book him. Freezes all enemies. Freeze is an insane debuff, guys. You're basically just like completely locking out the enemy. Also, their abilities don't cool down. So if they've already used a couple of their big abilities, you freeze them. Those abilities will not cool down on the turn where they're becoming unfrozen. So that's very cool. He gets another turn after doing that, and then he comes in and smacks with this A3. This A3 can one-shot people if you're building for damage. Places an extra hit if they're frozen. So he freezes, then he comes in and hits twice. And his A1 is a 2-hitter anyway. If they're frozen, it's a 3-hitter. Very cool champion. Overlooked a lot of the time. Brilliant in the arena. And they buffed his speed to 98. You're like that. Yes! Because you want him to go second. Speed lead into Gerdo. And smack. Everyone is frozen and out of the game. Amazing champ. So, on to 15 then. 15. We're getting into the big source stuff now. 15 is going to be the next rare. My last rare, actually. Yeah. You knew who she was. Coldheart is still in my endgame teams. She's in my endgame Fire Knight team. Sometimes I run her in my endgame Spider team. She is just a beast of a champion. Like, she's basically a legendary in a rare skin. She's so good. So, she's got a 4-hitter on her A1 with heal reduction. Perfect for Fire Knight. She's got a AoE ability which can place poisons and debuffs here. Place a poison if they're under heal reduction. This just hits pretty damn hard. You can make her do some good damage with this. And it's a good ability, 3-turn cooldown. She's also got the bad boy move. Heart Seeker. Can book it down to 4 turns. This just does a ton of damage. You can smack the main spider for for 2 million damage in the right conditions. You can smack Fire Knight for 500, 600k, no sweat. Same with Dragon. At the same time as doing that sort of damage, she reduces the turn meter by 100%. Doesn't mean she drops it to 0, because sometimes turn meter goes above 100%, but it's just insanely good. And what's even better is it's got an extra 30% chance to crit, which means you only need to build her to 70% crit rate for her to do her work. Really good champion. Make sure you get her HP high so she doesn't take all the damage. She's quite squishy. She's got low base defense. Her base speed is quite low as well, but that shouldn't put you off. She's an insane, insane rare. Okay, let's move on. Number 14 then is going to be... It's going to be Skullcrown. Skullcrown, Queen of the Arena. She's also just good anywhere, actually. I still run her in my faction war teams. I run her in some of my best arena comps. She's got A2, which slams and places weaken, the big version. Can put that down to a 3-turn cooldown. She's got a double hit A1 if they're higher than 50% HP. You can build her up to just absolutely crucify enemies in the arena. She was my carry in a lot of my dungeons up until stage 16, 17. She was my campaign farmer for almost forever, since I played the game in like 18 months. She's got a speed lead in the arena, and it's a big one. She's also got an unkillable buff. So when she drops below 20% health, she becomes unkillable, which means there's a good chance she's going to get another one of these slams off before she dies. And if you pair her with Sinacia, she revives as well. Very, very cool champion. Like, absolute god pull for most people. Again, basically a legendary champion. Okay, moving on then. Number 13 is going to be Mr. Big Boy, Sir Nick. Sir Nicholas. I mean, he's in my tier list. He's MVP Spider. So I placed him 6 out of 5 for Spider. Basically because this ability here attacks all enemies, places a shield buff on all allies, the value of 30% of the damage you do. And this guy, he's an HP-based champion. He's got a load of HP, and he smacks. He absolutely smacks with this AoE. You can one-shot waves with this AoE. He's got a freeze, which has got a good chance to proc on his A1. Cannot be resisted, which means you don't need to build accuracy on him. And he's got an unkillable buff and heal on his A2. He can be involved in unkillable teams on Clan Boss. This is just great for the arena anyway. Very, very awesome legendary champion. Okay then, moving on to number 12. Bit of a niche pick champion here. Hedgie. I mean, with Rotus coming out of the meta a bit, Nuke Hedgie is back, and he's back with a vengeance. You can just... So Hedgie, what's he all about? It's basically got a passive, which means he always goes first. The only chance that he won't go first is if he's against another Hedgie, and in that case, the one with the highest speed will go first. So, very cool passive, very unique. He's got high base attack, and his abilities scale off attack, and they scale hard. So he's got an AoE ability on his A2. It places a decreased attack, and also has got a chance of placing block cooldowns. So block cooldowns, again, locks out abilities, means that they can't use their main abilities. And that is just a crucifying move in the arena. So if someone puts block cooldown skills on you before you've even had a chance to move, it can completely wipe out what your team is meant to do and probably win you the game just by doing this. If you put the mastery, which extends debuffs by an extra turn, potentially you're blocking cooldown skills for 3 turns, which is an instant win. You can't come back from that. So awesome A2. You can build him as a stun Hedgie, put him in a stun set, and you've got another debuff that he might land. You can build him as an absolute nuke Hedgie, in which case you're just smacking people for so much damage, it's insane. Cool champion. A1 has got a decreased speed on it as well. You just want to go good accuracy on him, high damage, and he is absolutely back in the meta with a bang. Hedgie, one of the most sought after legendaries in the game. So next one, another kind of arena champ. You know what? He's super cool for a completely different reason to Hedgie. He's super cool because he's so annoying. I hate this champion. I hate playing against his champion. He's got a passive which has got a chance to apply freezes. Every time a turn meter fill happens or a buff happens, 20%, can book it up to 30%, and you can use a mastery that makes it 35%. 1 in 3 chance that you're going to be frozen when you do stuff. What it does is it stops you playing the game how you want to play the game. Very annoying. And not only that, he's got a freeze on his A1. He's got remove buffs from a target and then smack on his A2. If they've got a freeze and an HP burn together, he'll ignore defense as well, just for the fun of it. And then he's got an AoE ability on his A3, places block buffs, and heal reduction if they're already under freeze. Places provoke if they're not under freeze, or 60% chance, or 80 if you book him to place a provoke. Decreases the cooldown of a random skill on each ally by 1 turn for every enemy attacked under freeze and HP burn. So you can just see the synergy of playing him with an HP burn. If you're playing with an HP burn and a freeze champion together, and you throw him in the mix, then providing they go, it's kind of like, see you later. Basically, it's just like, what do you think you're doing against this guy? Awesome champion. He is the reason immunity gear is so good, because you've got to play immunity gear if you're facing a Torment. Torment then came in at 11th. So into top 10. Some of these are interchangeable as well, guys. Like Torment there probably could be top 3 to some people. But top 10, I'm going with Ethos, just the king of nuke. Like, absolutely smacks. A1 hits hard, chance of an extra turn on it. A2 is a triple hitter and it smacks. I don't know why they put this weak source weaken on there. If it was me, take the weaken off and just make him hit even a little bit harder. I even forget that's even there. And then A3 is just a smack, which always crits. So you can actually play him with no crit rate at all and just play to slam with the A3. Or you can build him normally with crit rate and get this hitting as well. He's my campaign farmer. He's my dungeon keep farmer. He can basically solo dungeon keeps without any sweat at all. Crazy damage output. Very fun champ. He's just there for damage. Campaign farmer. Any sort of dungeon farm. Arena nuker. Faction war nuker. Just insanely strong. Insanely strong damage dealer. So that's 10. On to 9 then. On to 9. And she is back into the meta. Raglan's back, guys. She is now MVP in the arena. Basically, a block revive champion like Rotus wiped her out of the meta. She's now back because Rotus is taking a back seat. She's got a revive with a champion with a full turn meter on a 2-turn cooldown. It's insane. She's also got remove all buffs on all debuffs on all allies and heal on her A2, and she's got a 3-hitter with a chance to fill turn meter on her A3. Basically, you put her in a defensive setup in the arena, you build her with a lot of defense and a lot of resistance, and she is so hard to bring down. Really, really cool champ. And she's good as a carry kind of just anywhere in the game in terms of like support carry. So Raglan came in at 9. Number 8 then is going to be Venus, mainly because she's got such a crazy kit. AoE, decrease defense and weaken. There's only 2 champions in the game that do that with this effect. She has got A1 poison, A3 HP burn, and then A4 is all about pairing her with Cupidus, which actually pairs really well. Insane base speed, good base HP, okay base attack and defense, not good. Okay. But all of her debuffs just make her so strong in the game. You can play her in any team in your setup and she'll be amazing in it. I run her in my finite team with Cupidus, but she's also a brilliant HP burner for Spider, brilliant debuffer anywhere in the game, brilliant for faction wars, especially in this faction because they lack decreased defense. So yeah, absolutely awesome champion, worthy of 8th spot. So on to 7 then. Someone I don't have who I'd love is Krisk. Krisk, the Ageless, just a god. If you get him early, he will carry you through anywhere in the game, like literally anywhere. AoE, and then kind of AoE provoke. So all of his abilities are AoE. Put him in the stun set, he's annoying. Put him in a high defense set. He can do damage. Put him in a high defense, high resistance. He's pretty much impossible to kill. He's got decreased speed here. He's got ally protection and heals here. He's got enemy provoke, increased defense on himself, and increased speed on your team. And then he's got, anytime someone hits him, he decreases their attack and their defense. He's also got in this passive, when you start the round, all of your teams get a shield equal to 50% of his HP. You're just like, how much is in this guy's kit? He is absolutely a beast. An absolute beast. I would love to pull this guy. So, Chris, on to 6 then. You're thinking, how are we only on 6? 6 is going to be an epic who everybody wants. Same reason as Painkeeper, but even more so. Because if you've got 2 man-eaters, then you can 3-key Ultra Nightmare without breaking a sweat with a bunch of rares other than these 2 guys. Absolutely insane champions. And they're not just good for Clan Boss. Brilliant for Faction Wars. Like, top draw for Faction Wars. Fully deplete turn meter on an A2, and he gains that turn meter. Unkillable stuff here and block debuffs. And then A1, AoE decrease attack. It places it. All you need to do is crit. So there's so much in his kit, guys. He's insane. Basically, anywhere in the game. Insane for Spider. The only trouble with Spider, he doesn't A2, which is the best ability for Spider, unless you manual it. Or maybe if you click the Spider, he does it. But otherwise, he won't do it. This is great for Spider as well, though. It's great for Dragon. Probably the only place I wouldn't run him, really, would be Fire Knight. But then even with Fire Knight, you fully deplete the Fire Knight's turn meter when he's about to get his shield back. And it's amazing. So he's basically insane in the game. Absolutely insane. He comes in as my number 6. Number 5 then is going to be top 5. Top 5. It's going to be the first orc we talked about, Warlord. Everyone thought he was getting a nerf. He didn't get a nerf, guys. He got a buff. Absolutely mental, this guy. He's got like a Vizier style increase all debuffs on his A1. Great for Clan Boss. He's got block debuffs and shield on his A2. On a 3-turn cooldown, it heals as well as shields. Great for Spider. Great for Dragon. Great for Arena. Great for Clan Boss. Great for Faction Wars. Like, so many places it works. A3, which is what he's known for. AoE ability. If you book it, 100% chance to put everybody's skills on cooldown. It's insane. Like, in the arena, you get him to go second, puts all of their skills on complete cooldown. And then he's also got a 60% chance of wiping out their turn meter at the same time. Fully deplete turn meter. Takes it back down to 0. Same. This ability is actually cool for Spider. It's cool for Fire Knights. But mainly it's cool for the arena and for Faction Wars. Brilliant, brilliant champion. Absolutely worthy of a top 5 spot. 5th for me. Probably could easily be like top 3 if you kind of look at the other ones, but the other ones are all so good as well. So coming in then at number 4 is going to be the champion that you can actually get for free through your missions. She is in 90% of arena teams where they own an arbiter. Insane base speed, brilliant speed aura, turn meter booster here with increased attack on it. Decrease buffs here, turn meter booster here, and full team revive. A weaken on A1, double hitter. She's great in Fire Knight. She's great in Dragon. She's great in Spider. She's great everywhere, guys. But mainly she's insane in the arena. Worthy of a top 5 spot for sure. Again, she probably could be first. Like, that's how close these different champions are now. So 3rd spot then. I'm throwing her in, guys. 3rd spot. What are you saying? Suda. I really, really, really want this champion. Crazy base defense. Crazy base HP. Very, very fast. Which just means, like, with all these base stats, you can build her out to be an absolute beast. She looks a bit like Valkyrie post-COVID. Or maybe Valkyrie's nan or mum or whatever. I don't know. But still, Absolutely awesome, awesome skin. Look at this skin. I love it. I love what they've done with this champion. And it's not just the skin that's good. It's not just the stats that are good. Block cooldown skills on an A1. That is a 60% chance to land if it's booked. Based on HP, I don't know if she does damage yet, guys. I haven't seen her being used anywhere. I don't even care if she does damage. But if she does do damage as well, then it's just like, whoa. This champion is bustedly good. AoE on her A2. 3-turn cooldown if you book it. AoE, place a 30% decreased crit damage debuff and a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns if the target's got an attack which is higher than their defense. If it's a higher defense than their attack, they get decreased speed and decreased defense. That is an amazing, amazing ability. I love it. It's cool for anywhere in the game. So it doesn't matter who you're attacking, you drop the stat which does the damage for that person. It's such a cool ability. I love it. She's then got an A3, which has got ally protection. I love it. 3-turn cooldown. And she puts strengthen on herself. Strengthen means she just basically takes a 25% less damage. Straight out. Straight damage reduction, 25%. Love that. 3-turn cooldown means that she's insane for clan boss, insane for anywhere in the game. And then she's got this ability here. Decrease the damage is a passive. Decrease the damage all allies take from crits by 30%. She'll take it instead. I'm a little bit worried about this one because if you haven't got strengthen up, this could just sit her down, potentially. But you're going to build her with a ton of defense, a ton of HP. That will mitigate a lot of this anyway. You know what? If you put her in a stalwart set, blimey. Put her in a stalwart set, she is going to stay alive for days. I absolutely love this champion. Really good addition to the game. I really want to pull her this weekend. So, number 2, Seafeed keeps her spot in the top 2. She was nerfed. She was out and out top 1 by like a mile. She is still queen of the game, really. She's still got an A1, which has got a sleep, which cannot be resisted. This is probably the most broken part of her kit. It's absolutely mental. She's got a ton of brilliant debuffs on her A2, including a speed up, just turn meter boost. This is what they nerfed, the turn meter boost. 4-turn cooldown on this. It's an insane ability. She can completely block out a tournament by herself, throws out block debuffs, at the same time increase defense, increase speed. The rest of your team can do whatever they want. And then she's got revive a champion with full turn meter, 55% HP, increase attack and increase crit rate as well. 4-turn cooldown. And she's got this kind of heal mechanic, chance to remove freezes, fears. And if she's with Rotus, then Rotus is silly as well. Really, really amazing, amazing champion. And she's got busted base stats. She can actually hit bloody hard as well. Like on her A1, she can hit really hard. So Seafeed still up there, top 2. But first place for me today is going to be Madame. She was nerfed. She's still crazy. Should she be first place? The reason I put her first place is because she's an epic, which means that you can book her out pretty easily. And you know what? She's just crazy. She's just crazy. Maybe she shouldn't be first place. She's definitely a top 5 anyway. But she does remove all buffs from enemies. Flat out does that. And then at the same time, she places decreased attack, decreased defense on everyone for 2 turns. This is why she's first place. It's a unique ability in the game. It's an absolute arena whitewash. You turn a team which has got all of their strength into a team with no strength in one foul swoop. Brilliant ability. She's also got a chance to place a fear on her A1 on a single hitter, and she's got a chance to place true fear on her A2 and steal buffs. If she steals any buffs, then she puts block debuffs on your whole team. I love it. She's such a cool champ. You know, if you pull yourself a Madame today, a lot of people are looking for Madame more than those legendaries I've just spoken about. That's why I put her as number 1. But anyway, guys, top 25 Void champions done. Whew, quite a long video, but a fun one. Good luck if you're pulling shards on this 2 times Void. I will be. Come and catch me on stream. Hell Hades TV on Twitch. And yeah, we'll see what we get. I'll catch you soon, guys.